Hello, and welcome to the Rewired and Radiant podcast. Today we are cozy because it has been pouring outside. My town has been flooding. We have gotten so much rain over the last month, not even like 2 weeks, that we broke a world record of almost 100 years ago for how much rain we've had. But that's okay. We've been in a drought the last few years, so this was definitely needed. However, it also means that this summer we have not gone outside a lot because it is pouring rain. And so I'm in my cozies more often. I do really miss the sunshine and hope that in the next week or so we can start going outside again. Because having kids who are cooped up inside all day, it can lead to a very antsy household. If you know, you know. But, anyways, that's besides the point. Today, we are talking about what happens when you ask the universe for guidance. And it gives you little hints on what direction you should probably be going because, well, you're asking the universe for advice. And then life happens. You get sick. I got very sick. My whole world kind of came to a screaming halt. I had a sinus infection. I couldn't record. There were things I wanted to talk about. I started a podcast over a month ago and I was like, oh, so excited. I get to show up as this new version of me, finally do my podcast, which I've only been talking about doing for years. And then I got sick and I backtracked and I fell off the horse and I questioned myself, which is ironic, the name of my first episode. Why am I bothering to do this? You see, when you have all these thoughts in your head and you're constantly overthinking, or you're, you're thinking of these things that you want to do, and it takes over your life. It really does. It took over my life quite a bit. My presence, my patience with myself, my presence with my kids. I was so tired of it that I'm like, I'm going to take action to create this life I want to live that's always in my head. I'm done overthinking it. I want to show up as that person and do these things because when I do, I ultimately become happier, more present, more patient, less frustrated. I'm getting more things done off of my task list. I feel like I'm unlocking more capacity within my energy and myself. My whole life starts to change when I do these things. But then things happen and it sets you back, and you almost default back to an old identity. It's like the universe is almost testing you in a way of, but how bad do you actually want it? Are you going to do it? Are you going to get back on the horse after being sick, after life gets in the way? You question yourself on why did I even want to do it in the first place 9 times out of 10? And I have defaulted back to the old me, the old settings so many times because it was old habits that were ingrained in me from long before I became a mom. Like, I've been a mom for 5 years now. Yes, I want to run an online business. Yes, I want to show up and do all these things. However, the way I was able to show up before kids is way different than how I get to show up now. And that right there is what I find I've been stuck in the most lately. Life happens and I get this feeling of, oh, there, I see the new me, I see the new opportunity. And then you default back. And I talked about the identity shift on my YouTube channel. I figured I'll bring it into the podcast a little bit, but I feel less of an identity shift and more of a battle between the identities. It's how much of the old you, the parts of you that you love, what parts of those do you want to bring into what you're doing and into the future you, and what parts do you want to leave behind? And when things happen, when you're stepping into this new identity, when you're following the guidance that the universe has given you of going down this new direction, it's almost like a quantum leap. I have heard that, especially with atoms and to quantum leap, you start this forward movement and you basically jump from one space to another, but you still have to hold being in that new space. It's not just magically you're gonna jump to that new identity and it's just gonna stick. It comes down to this whole, I've heard many people talking about just decide to do something. It's like, okay, I see the vision. I decided this is what I want to do and this is who I want to be and these are the ways I want to show up. I asked the universe for guidance and went, okay, now how do I step into that new identity? And you start doing it, but then your subconscious kind of gets scared, or life happens, or you get sick, and it's like you're disrupted and you fall backwards because you have to hold that new identity. It's not just magically going to stick. And then when you fall back, do you get back on the horse? How fast do you get back on the horse? Do you continue to push towards that dream? Do you continue to decide over and over again to show up as that new version of yourself, finding the proof that the new version of yourself actually exists? This is something I have to do all the time. I have to go through my days and actually pick up on the moments where I'm like, yeah, this is the new me. This is the new identity. This is how I'm showing up now. The old me, there are parts that still exist, but I call them out and I'm like, no, that's an old habit. I'm not doing things that way anymore. This is something that happened when I got sick. I noticed how badly I wanted to default back to those old habits and how loud those old habits got in my head of, okay, well, it's fine. Just when you're not sick, we're going to decide to start again. But I kept wanting to do things the old way. It was like I wanted to follow the old habits of hustling and the way that I was organizing and planning and doing things. It's like, okay, well, but this is how I want to do my content. And this is how I want to show up on my podcast. And all these things that I've now tried over and over for years, not just months, for years. And something in me for the first time clicked. So maybe this is, I'm finally switching into a new identity. It clicked that I was showing up from the go hustle mindset of I was doing stuff from a point of scarcity and security versus just doing them because I wanted to do them. And because I desire for the creative outlet, I desire to build a business. I don't have to. I used to have to do all these things. I used to have to work 3 jobs to keep a roof over my head, to keep my bills paid. And now I'm in this new life. I don't have to run a business all the time, but my body defaulted to it. And it defaulted to all the ways that I've learned how to do it before because, oh, if you want to be successful, this is how you do things. Well, guess what? I was doing all of that almost for 5 years, and I still have not found that huge portion of success in it. So, what happened as I'm in the middle of this identity shift, the battle of identities, I got really sick. I was sick for like 3 weeks. I had a sinus infection for 3 weeks. It was so terrible. Oh my God, I felt like crap. And I kept wanting to do all these things and hustle and show up to build a business. And oh, but what do I do for my podcast next? And what do I, and I caught myself. I was like, wait. Sometimes when you're shifting between identities, things will happen. And sometimes if you're sick, it's actually because your body is trying to clear out old energy. So I was like, what if clearing out that old energy is also the old habits of the ways I'm showing up and how I'm doing things? So I reframed. I was like, let's do things a different way. How do I now tell myself, my body, my subconscious, my mind that I am in this new identity? As much as I'm in the battle of the old versus new, I am in the new. And I start picking up these, okay, but this is a better way of doing things. Try this instead. You got sick because you asked the universe for help and guidance. And the universe was like, whoa, maybe the direction you're going, you're defaulting back to that old setting, the trying to make a game plan, trying to make a list, make it picture perfect, keep it perfectly organized. And then for like 3 or 4 days, I'm just dealing with life and home and kids, and I can't follow that structure anymore. That's not my life anymore. So, how do I reframe it? So, I spent 3 weeks reframing how I'm going to do things, and it feels so much lighter now. I actually feel like I'm stepping more into this new identity. And I hope within my podcast now, within my content, as I show up with this new identity, maybe it'll help someone else out there because I feel like I struggled with this for long enough. One of the reasons I wanted to create this podcast is because I called it the Rewired and Radiant podcast. I used to feel so dull in my life and highly anxious, really, really bad, like anxiety, self confidence. And I almost used the hustle mentality and the businesses I was running in the past as a mask to hide from the life that I had because I didn't actually like my life. That's still part of the old identity. The new me, I have now been living in motherhood and as a stay at home mom for over 5 years. And I don't have to work. I don't have to hustle, but all of that that mask, that hiding, that old identity of not liking my life, that is trickled into all of this new stage of life. For 5 years, I could have been leaning into motherhood, leaning into my family, leaning into more like passion and love and presence. But I haven't been able to because I've been so stuck in these old habits and these old ways. That's why I'm rewiring my life now, and I'm sharing about it here on a podcast. How crazy is that? So hopefully, if there is anyone out there who resonates with this, it can help you too. Because as I rewire my life, I'm becoming more radiant. I'm becoming more present. I am showing up as this new identity more and more every single day. I'm getting back on the horse. And it's ironic. I'm going to like sidetrack here for a minute. We are in the year of the horse. If you're into Chinese astrology or astrology, Chinese zodiacs, all that, we're in the year of the horse. It's a fire horse, and I'm an Aries. I'm a fire sign. I'm very much a fiery go-getter. So it's could be a good push for me this year. The problem that some people don't know is oh, close the door. Sidetrack, my kid just came in. We're going to delete that out of here and try and continue this conversation. Don't worry, my husband's got them. We're in the year of the horse, and being a fire sign on a fire horse, that's a lot of fiery energy, but horses scare easily. And if there's one thing somebody told me about being in the year of the horse is, yeah, if you can hold on to the reins and stay on the horse, you'll have a lot of forward movement. But because horses scare easily, you could rear back a lot. You could fall off a lot and you could get scared and you could stay back because horses need to feel confident and safe to move forward. And that's something I've been working on a lot this year is feeling safe, feeling secure as I'm moving forward in things. Because when I move forward with things out of being scared, the scarcity, I fall back. I fall off the horse and it's scary to get back on the horse. So I have to secure myself first and be like, no, I want to do this. I desire to do this. I don't have to do this. The new identity, the new version of me is doing these things because it's on my mind, because I want to do it, not because I have to do it. I don't have to overthink these things and be like, but if I did this, it'll help my life in this way. And oh, if no, it's, I get to do these things because it lights me up inside, because it makes me my most radiant self, because this is the new version of me. And I get to kill off that old version of me. That's another conversation. Maybe that'll be the next episode is killing off the old version of you. When you're in the battle of identities, you need to kill off the old version of you. And that's what I'm still working on doing. So now, after being sick, after all these lessons, after asking the universe for guidance and it giving me guidance, and then it's like I start the forward momentum and oh, rear, fall back. How do I get on the horse and stay on the horse? Maybe there's a part of all of this where I have to have an ego death. I maybe I'm in the middle of the ego death because I'm noticing more and more the new version of me and how I want to show up. And more I'm saying, okay, but that old part of me, all these old habits, they're ready to die off. So how do we kill them off now? Well, if you want to know, make sure that you follow my podcast, subscribe, follow this journey because I'm going to be sharing more and more about this. I'm going to say every week, but maybe every 2 weeks. I'm a stay at home mom. I'm, like I said, I am doing this out of passion and for fun now, not out of because I have to. And I feel before it was very much like, oh, I have to share all this information. Why? I don't know. I don't know what my body and my mind was like, oh, you have to do this. I don't have to. I want to. It is fun. It is an outlet because, again, all these things living in my head, all the overthinking, I get to put it somewhere. I love my family as they walk by. I love my friends. We get to talk about all this kind of stuff, but sometimes I don't get to see them all the time. So I am now trying to build my community online too. So, hi, welcome. If you resonate, if you're enjoying this, do me a favor, subscribe to whether it's my YouTube or follow me on Spotify. Leave me a 5-star review. This is a very new podcast. So if you like it, please leaving 5-star reviews, leaving comments. That's really going to help boost my algorithms and get this going so we can have this land on the pages of other people who maybe need to hear this too. I'd really appreciate it. And I'd also really love to connect. So if you drop a comment, then maybe we can connect on something. Let me know if any of this is sticking or landing or resonating, because I feel like I didn't even really drop my full, like, oh, welcome to the podcast. And like I had a whole blip of what I was going to say after that, like an intro, and I just blasted right into it. I'm like, I've got stuff to talk about today. Let's talk about this. And it all just, yeah, it leads back to that, the battle, right? The battle of mindset, the battle of self presence, the battle of identities, the battle of what do you do when you ask the universe for guidance and then everything comes to a screaming halt. It's normal. It's called resistance. And then it's what are you going to do on the other side of that so that you can start showing up with the life you want to live and showing up to do the things that the universe gave you guidance on. On that note, if you saw on my Instagram, I was going to do a little challenge. It was called the Strict Girl Era. I was going to do 14 days of being strict, right? Like, these are my habits. I'm going to get disciplined. I asked the universe for guidance, and it's like, be more disciplined, do the Strict Girl Era. As I started doing that, I made it to day 4 and I got sick. Sick to the point that I couldn't even, like, yes, I could get up and do my morning meditation and my movement and this and that, but I was going to show up and do talking head stories every single day. That was the old me. That was the old habits. It's, oh, I have to show up every day. I have to do talking head videos every day. That's what's going to get the algorithm boosted. That's what's going to get my page going. You know what? That was bullshit, if I may say that on here. That was me being scared of my page isn't going to go anywhere if I don't show up every single day like these other people online that say this is how you are successful. I thought that was success because that's what I've seen in other people. That's what I pushed for many times over the last 5 years as I've learned about social media and podcasts and this and that. It's like, oh, if you show up this way, you'll be successful and see success. I made a YouTube video about success. Success is not doing a thing. Success is about how you feel on the other side. And if I'm forcing something out of an old habit from the old me, I still don't feel successful. In fact, I feel drained. I get sick because you're not doing things the way you're supposed to. Take this as a little sign. If you start showing up with actions and something happens and you get resistance, it might not just be resistance, it might be redirection. So tune inward to yourself and ask, do I just need to redirect? Do something a different way? Maybe that will actually help you a little bit. That's what I'm doing right now. That's what's helping me. I'm redirecting. I'm not falling off the horse. I don't think I fell off the horse because it was on my mind the whole time. Instead, I kind of slowed the roll a little bit. I slowed the horse down. I took a look around. I replanned and refocused. And then I kind of took a different direction. And it's like, I'm going to go down this path instead because that old path, haha, that old path is the old me. And I refuse to do those things anymore. I'm not doing things that way anymore. I am taking the new path. I am stepping into the new identity. I am leaning into the shift and working my way through this battle. And then I'm going to have an ego death. And on the other side of things, maybe I'll actually be able to show up on my social media and my podcast more the way I want to, not the way I feel I have to, because I don't need to do these things. I have everything I need. Everything else is a bonus. I've heard this one before. Maybe you need to say it to yourself too. I've been trying to work a lot on like the, what do you call it? Like self affirmations. So, like, hand on the heart and deep breath. I am secure. I am safe. I have everything I need, and everything else is a bonus. When you lean into life in that direction with that energy, things become so much simpler, and you also just start to feel better. That's the point. Feeling radiant is just feeling better. It's not masking your life. It's not living in your old habits because you know, if you are on this episode, you know that there's a shift that you want to happen in your life and you might not know where to start. So I hope that you resonate with this episode. I hope that if there's moments in your life where you feel like you're ready to quit, or you feel overwhelmed and you're overthinking a lot and you're just kind of over it, maybe it's not a sign of quitting. Maybe this is your sign of redirection. It is time to quantum leap together. Okay. We are not bouncing backwards. We are elevating forwards and we're doing it together through beautiful things like this podcast. This is fun. I hope you enjoyed this. I think that that is my rant or riff for the day. I'm leaning into this new era of me right now. And if you want to follow that journey, again, you know what to do. Subscribe, follow along, download this episode for later. If this rant had you going, holy, that was a lot. It was a lot. I'm sorry. That was a lot. I just kind of came on and word vomited, but it felt good. And now I got a bunch of shit out of my head and we can move forward with this new identity shift. I'm so excited to see what comes of this for myself over the next little bit. And for you, if anything resonated with you and you want to connect, through dropping a comment or head on over to my Instagram page. If you don't follow me yet, it's Carissa Lee over on Instagram. You can come find me there and get a bit more like day in the life updates versus the long form content like this. And yeah, let's connect. Let's go through this crazy journey of identity work together because when you start to shift your identity, when you start to quantum leap into new realities, I will let you know, yeah, that old version is going to hang on a little bit. It might be tough, it might be scary, but we can get through it. I can get through it. You can get through it. I have faith, trust, and belief that you are on the cusp of your up level with your identity. I know that you probably see all those old habits and they creep up or they hold on sometimes. It might be a little bit scary. You might feel some resistance, but you've got this. Okay. On that note, I don't really know how else to end this episode, as you know, I am still baby Carissa with a baby podcast, but with time, you will watch me grow and get better as you follow along. And then you can see this crazy journey that I'm on too. So, on that note, have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Feel free to share this on your Instagram if you would like as well and tag me. Maybe there's somebody in your world who could resonate with this too. And yeah, thanks for being here. Have a wonderful day, and you'll catch me in the next episode. Bye bye.